The semiconductor industries from Silicon Valley to Seoul are scrambling to find the engineers and skilled workers needed to power the next generation of technology. But nowhere are the stakes higher than in Taiwan, which produces and supplies the world's most advanced chips. As demand for AI surges, industry leaders warn that a shortage of talent could threaten future growth. We examine how Taiwan is preparing the next generation of engineers to keep its edge in the global chip race. To better understand how Taiwan's universities are preparing students for the AI era and the challenges they face, we're joined by Chih-Wen Kuo. He's the Senior Vice President of National Sun Yat-Sen University. I want to start with just a general idea of what SYS or Sun Yat-Sen University is doing to prepare the next generation of tech talent. What is it doing differently?
Okay, yeah, thank you for having me here. National Sun Yat-Sen University, we were established in 1980, so relatively young among all universities at Taiwan. And we are located in southern Taiwan in the city of Kaohsiung. And we are proud to claim that we are the best university of the city. Currently, we have about 8% of international students. And at the same time, also close to that percentage, it's about 9% of international faculty members, which we are very proud to be the best or the highest among all universities of Taiwan in terms of the percentage of international faculty members. Internationalization has always been one of the main endeavors of our university's development. We try to catch up with the latest development trend, of course, AI, semiconductors, and that's how we position ourselves.
Now, Taiwan has built one of the world's most important semiconductor industries. But many companies are saying that the shortage of labor and possible future workers is threatening the industry. How serious is that?
I don't think that's the biggest challenge facing our semiconductor industry. Electricity support and also water resources. These are natural resources probably might pose a bigger challenge of this because we know that in this AI era, we need lots of data centers, and data centers actually, of course, consumes a lot of electricity. TSMC and all the others semiconductor manufacturing plants, they also consume a lot of electricity to produce these high-performance chips. And I think going forward, this might be the biggest challenge facing the industry. Of course, that's also the government's responsibility, try to ensure a very steady supply, also the water supply. I think talent-wise, I don't think that would be a very severe challenge. Besides the local talents here from Taiwan, we also have many international students that they are aspiring to join this workforce in Taiwan, or maybe later in their own individual countries also.
Now, few executives have had a bigger impact on the semiconductor industry than Lisa Su. Since taking the helm of Advanced Micro Devices, or AMD, she has transformed the company into one of the world's leading chip makers and a key competitor in the race to power artificial intelligence. Now, here's her take on Taiwan's semiconductor ecosystem.
I think what is so special about the Taiwan semiconductor ecosystem is it has every part of the ecosystem, starting from the basic materials all the way through the advanced process technology to the back-end technology to the systems, our OEM and our ODM partners, and now building to rack-scale manufacturing. All of those pieces need to work very, very closely together. And the only place in the world that has all of it together is right here in Taiwan. So many of the partners in the Taiwan ecosystem are now also expanding outside of Taiwan. And I think that's a really good thing because semiconductors are so important to the world. Having the geographic capability is very important.
Right, and speaking of your focus, SYSU has a unique college dedicated to semiconductor and advanced technology research. Now, can you tell us what that college does that you feel is different from other universities?
This is a program commissioned by the government. We are very grateful that among the initial 5 universities that were commissioned by the government to start this program, of course, it focuses on the technologies related to semiconductor. And we have the operational fund from part of it from the industry that they are making generous donation. Also at the same time, the government also match those donations from the industry. We have more sufficient funding. So that means that we could give out more generous scholarship to aspiring talents to join these areas. And also at the same time, we could buy in new state-of-the-art equipment to give students the best training or the hands-on experience on the latest equipment that to promote the advanced technology. And also that the curricula is designed based on the input from these donating industries. So what they would like us to focus on, cultivating not just the talents or the technology, the techniques that they need to become the workforce in the semiconductor industry, also emphasize the international perspectives for them.
Now I want to go back to AMD CEO Lisa Su and hear what she has to say about how industries and companies should respond to the explosive growth of AI.
People sometimes talk about AI bubble. They ask all the time, can this be real? Should we really invest so much right now? And my answer is, this is definitely real. And we are still so early. If you think about a baseball game, maybe we're in the third inning of still 9 innings. When we think about how to use AI we actually have to think about overall AI strategy from a high level, not just a very low level. In other words, some people think, oh, is AI going to take away people's jobs? So should I be worried that on the employee side that your jobs will be less, or on the business side, oh, I can save so much money? That's 2 ways to look at it. I think that's actually the small part of AI. The big part of AI is, how can I do something very differently? And that means that you have to retrain your workforce. So for example, at AMD, we are actually educating every single person about how to use the AI tools and how to change the way we internally build our products or do our sales, do our marketing. I think every company has to think about how do you educate your employees, how do you ensure that you put the right tools in place. We're all learning together how to be more productive with the use of AI.
How's your university, and how do you think the education system should be incorporating AI at a university level?
AI doesn't just give us a good-looking presentations or good-looking reports. It also has these problems of so-called hallucination, or maybe it's not 100% correct. So right now at the university, that we try to prepare our students or give them the awareness that you have to think critically. Of course, the AI technology, it will improve, okay?
Are you monitoring how much they're using AI?
We don't, at that stage, we don't monitor them. No, we just tell them that you could use this technology, but right now we ask our professors, to inform the students or to co-work with them that, think critically. The AI, if you don't know how to ask questions, if you just give a very generic or very general question to AI, it will just give you a very general answers. And right now, that since this has been going on for about 2 years, and everyone's been tinkering with this, and then so we kind of all develop a sense that this is just directly from AI or not.
What competencies do students need now as they enter the world, this whole new AI world, to prepare them for it? Not just in the way they study or they learn, but in the other soft skills that will be required.
So I think that the important thing is that the critical thinking might be the most important skills now. Okay, so technology-wise, everyone can learn, whether from Google or right now you from Claude, from OpenAI, or from ChatGPT. But as I just said earlier, that you could easily get an answer from Claude, from ChatGPT. But is it really? Because also the fundamental limitation, I would say that even though I think the situation, the technology could improve, AI it will give out answers that may or may not be 100% correct. So now then students have to rely on their fundamental knowledge, to make a judgment. So they have to think. And I think right now especially, of course, in the past, critical thinking is an important aspect of thinking. But right now, in this booming era of AI, critical thinking, of course, is even more important. And then, of course, creative thinking is also one, okay? So we always think of, we tell the students, should not just rely on AI. If you don't think, then the brain may degenerate.
Okay. And then going back to maybe what Taiwan is known for, it's semiconductor manufacturing. Taiwan has a very distinct fab culture where the workers have long working hours and often are on call at all times of the day or even into the night. From this generation you're preparing, do you feel they are prepared for that kind of a work culture ahead of them if they want to go into the semiconductor industry? Or does the semiconductor industry have to change to adapt to this new generation?
I think that that culture we have been teaching students, the workmanship, that's, the job first, that's always been part of Taiwan's culture, whether, you work in the advanced technology area or you work in the service industry area, that's always important. And I always say that to duplicate this success, because TSMC right now, of course, the foundry, the fab in Arizona right now is also already in production. But to be successful, that one aspect I think is very important is that the workmanship of our engineers or in the Taiwanese culture that we teach them, and always job first. That, of course, put in different contexts, that may not be correct, okay, especially nowadays, that, of course, labor's awareness, that's also. But we still think that the way that one of the important reasons that TSMC now is so successful, or other companies, technology companies so successful, is that a lot of our engineers, that they always think of the works of the product, the company they work for, as number one. I just give an example because Taiwan is in the areas that we often has the earthquakes. Okay, so like when the earthquake happens near the Hsinchu area, which is the science park, and TSMC has a lot of fabs there, and also other advanced industry. When there's an earthquake, and the earthquake just a minor one, a lot of if it's happening during like the 5-6 p.m. The after work hour, a lot of these engineers, they, even though they are on the way home, from the company, a lot of them, they will just turn back and heading back to the company, to watch for the machines or the part of the department, the process that they were working on. And this is what I think, the workmanship, they worried about that. And then we have always been teaching them that, whether it's in the AI era or not, that's always an important aspect. And then we hope that they could keep on this tradition. And we have been teaching them that also.
And another possible hurdle for Taiwan in the future is Taiwan's low birth rates. We're hearing of schools shutting down, not enough students. How concerned are you this will also affect university level and eventually affect Taiwan's talent and labor force to sustain the semiconductor industry? And what do you feel is the solution to this?
The way to handle this, of course, locally, that if we don't have enough manpower, research manpower to supply to help us, then we have to go internationally. And many of these top universities, research-oriented universities, my university included, that's why we have been actively recruiting international students to come join our local one, and then to become also the part of our research manpower. And hopefully, and also at the same time, the government has also loosened a lot of restrictions for these international talents. Once they come over to Taiwan and get an advanced degree, Now governments, the attitude is that we welcome them to stay here, to join the local workforce, to help Taiwan's the technologies development. And I think that the government's aspect and also the university here, we cooperate with this one, and then so we bring in international talents, we train them, and we invite them to join our local industries development.